Great to have you on. Thanks for being back with us. I was looking through your results and just gangbusters growth in your global forwarding business, up 138% for the quarter. I mean, how does this speak to all of the imbalances we're seeing in the supply chain and the ability to move goods both by ocean and air right now? How long do you expect this imbalance to last?
Well, thanks for having me. It's great to be back. You asked a really important question there, and how long is this going to last and what's driving the results? I don't know that any of us really are in a position right now to forecast exactly how long the supply chain disruption continues. But the thing that's clear to us is that there are many modes and many nodes of the supply chain that continue to be disrupted. We're addressing the ports, we're addressing some of the inland infrastructure, but we've got labor shortages in warehouses, we've got labor shortages in trucking, we've got labor shortages globally that I think will continue to constrain some of the fluidity that we need to bring back into the supply chain to get back to some sense of normal.
Yeah, I want to get into all the labor shortages in just a second. But first, how are you able to mitigate some of these issues and some of these bottlenecks for your clients? I mean, clearly you're doing something right here when I look at these numbers.
Yeah, well, the lead-in here said navigating the supply chain. What we really try to help our customers do is orchestrate the supply chain. And we're in a unique position to do that because we have an industry-leading franchise both here domestically in our trucking and less than truckload business, as well as globally through our air and ocean freight businesses as well. And so we take a holistic view at the global supply chain. We provide our customers with teams of experts around the globe. We bring together those services through technology and really leverage the information advantage that we have given the $26 billion worth of freight that we manage. And we're able to help customers to continue to succeed in this environment. We're mode agnostic, and so we can move very clearly between whether it be an air solution, an ocean solution, or when we get here via the rail or via truck.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the labor shortages, the trucking shortages, and truck driver shortages were an issue before the pandemic as well. Just how acute is that right now? How many people would need to be hired into, for example, truckload or less than truckload for us to just be able to get past the congestion we're seeing right now?
The estimates today are that we're about 25,000 truck drivers below where we were pre-pandemic. And just to get back to a sense of kind of equilibrium, we need to hire about 80,000 new drivers and seat those in trucks to get back to some balance. The American Trucking Association estimates that over the next decade, we need to hire another 1 million truck drivers to meet the needs of the demand that's coming.
So for the holiday season, we're hearing about the potential for inventory shortages and things not reaching store shelves. We see the Biden administration starting to take some action, at least where the West Coast ports are concerned. Is this going to be enough?
I think it'll be helpful, but, driving the ports to 24/7 operations is a really logical first step, but it doesn't clear the entire supply chain. We've still got to deal with the shortage of chassis that exist in the ports, the availability of drayage capacity to go in and pick up those containers. And then once the containers are picked up, we have to get capacity into the network to move them out of the ports, whether that's via rail or via truck. And, the rail, we continue to have congestion on inland ports like Chicago. So, I don't want to forecast that there's not going to be any, Christmas toys for the kids come Christmas. But I also do think we're going to continue to see these delays, over the course of the next several months.
Hey, Bob, long term, though, on that labor shortage, I mean, does it move the needle either on the discussion of immigration in this country or on autonomy on long haul? I mean, we keep hearing about the promise of driverless, but we know that a lot of data is needed to make it safe. Do you see which of those could be the solution, or is it both?
Well, I think both will play a part. The immigration point is a very interesting one. If you look across the demographic of truck driving, there's a very heavy slant to immigrants. Trucking is a great job for people that want to come to this country, start a business, and work for themselves. The owner-operator community of one truck trucking companies makes up the majority of the trucking companies in this industry. Related to autonomy, we certainly think that there will be a more autonomous future in trucking. There are several companies obviously testing and learning through the autonomous features of Class 8 trucks. We tend to think that that's a bit further out into the into the timeline in the future, but we'll be ready for that as an organization. You know, one of the great things about our organization is we are completely mode agnostic, and given that we move more truckload freight than really anyone else in our industry, if you start to reduce the bias of where a driver wants to go, there's likely a pretty significant efficiency unlock by leveraging autonomous trucks.